It's IdoNotes episode number 120, brought to you by Connector, your leader in Lotus Cloud hosting. In this episode, I take a look at the new embedded experience as well as social edition for Domino and the new browser plugin. Welcome, everybody. It's an IdoNotes podcast live from Lotusphere. I've been getting some emails, some direct messages with some questions regarding some of the announcements at the OGS. Ed's talked a little bit about it on his blog, but you wanted to know my impression of what's going to happen and what's going on. So they announced the Lotus Notes and Domino Social Edition. So we're going to talk about two key components of that really quick. The first one is their new browser plugin. The browser plugin is the ability to run your Domino applications, not mail, in a browser mode without needing the Notes client anymore. Some of you should automatically say, well, that sounds a lot like Doles, the Domino offline services, the ability and the components to take pieces of notes. They're saying it's less than 100 meg to install. Right now it's Windows only, and they've only announced Firefox. They're debating the other, but with corporations, I'd hope that they're going to look at IE as one of the choices, and eventually Chrome or Safari. They're going to have to do all the browsers if they're going to make it a truly available experience. The big piece of the puzzle is less than 100 meg to download, then your clients are able to access and use the same experience they have now in a Notes client. So this is going to use some sort of approach like SAML or another authorization application to get yourselves and your clients to authenticate to get into the application. So what you're going to get is your actual Notes UI. We're not talking X pages yet. You can always dress them up in X pages, but the way it looks and feels now. What it doesn't address is encryption. It doesn't address some of the workflow, where some of the things run currently. Does it run on the client side? Does it still run on the server and the server communicates? Is there an offline mode like Doles used to offer? That's all hasn't been made clear yet, and I'm sure in the next few weeks it will, or in the next month or so, we'll probably get something like that. They did show it a little bit on stage, so we got to see it. Hopefully, if you watch the live stream of the OGS, you'll be able to capture a clip of that when they're actually showing about the browser experience. The next one they're going to talk about is the actual social mail experience. Let me give you my honest overview up front. You're running an embedded browser inside of your Notes client. Now, it does give you a single UI approach and everything else. So this will give you your mail. It'll give you your applications. It'll give you the welcome page. It'll give you the open social gadget. So basically, you're able to bring in public information, things that use the OAuth and the open social framework as an example for the two that you can do. Going back to the browser plugin, I said it doesn't do mail. So the actual social mail edition for Notes and Domino has the mail built in, but the one for the browser, they're going to have you use IdoNotes, because the IdoNotes has a richer experience than you could using the Notes client through a browser plugin. Kind of makes sense. But the other part then back to the Notes client is you'll be able to install this social edition and then give you a home page as well as interfaces into connections and others right from inside the Notes client, but in a more one UI type experience that IBM talks about all the time. I have a screenshot up that we've been having here in the corner. That ad is up there from Ed publicly on Flickr, so you'll be able to see it as you want. I'll put the link in the show notes for this episode. Otherwise, I'd look for a lot more information in the coming weeks about this. You pretty much have everything we do because it's been publicly disseminated. There's also a link to a slide presentation that Ed has out there now from his strategy session for 2012. I'll put that in the show notes for you as well. If you have other questions, let me know. I'm going to keep this short, and I'll probably have another one for you a little bit later on about some of the other announcements they made at the IBM Connect conference. Thanks.